Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Heartland Championship Wrestling. This is Dave Little, and we're coming to you live from the Dave Cave, and it is a pay-per-view Saturday. So we are in New York City for the pay-per-view broadcast of Heartland Havoc 119, I Walk Alone. This is a sort of a monthly pay-per-view broadcast, not one of the big four, but outside the big four yearly pay-per-views, we have these monthly pay-per-views, and this month it is the combination of Heartland Ladies Wrestling and Patriot Championship Wrestling joining forces here in New York City to bring you a complete card of action. Your main event will be the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. It will be a rematch as Ric Flair is once again scheduled to take on Bruno Sammartino. The last time these two men hooked up, it got out of control and ended in a no contest after Ric Flair put Bruno Sammartino through a table. So today's match will be a tables match. For the first time in Heartland Championship Wrestling history, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship will be defended in a tables match. Plus, the Heartland Ladies Championship will be on the line as Nicole Matthews defends against Kelly Klein. We've got a couple of other, three other title matches, as well as a couple of grudge matches lined up tonight. The pay-per-view premiere. First ever debut of JOANIE LAURER in a grudge match against Jessica Havoc. What a slobber knocker that is going to be. But to start things off, we have a special interview segment. For those of you who tuned in to Buckeye Bowl 2024 on New Year's Day, you got to see that Buckeye Bowl was won by Mark Henry. But that was not without controversy, as there was some question about the tactics of Mark Henry. At one point, he seemed to join forces with Big John Studd and Bobby the Brain Heenan for some teamwork, and then that kind of fell apart. So we don't know where Henry is coming from in his victory, and we're going to interview him today. So coming to the ring, it is Bill Apter. Bill Apter, of course, the general manager of the Patriot Championship Wrestling brand, and he is going to interview Mark Henry. But wait a minute. Before Apter can start his interview, there is some confusion backstage, and out of nowhere, completely unexpected, is the arrival of this man, Rowdy Roddy Piper. And Rowdy Roddy Piper has dismissed Bill Apter from the stage. And it is Rowdy Roddy Piper who is going to have an impromptu session of Piper's Pit here in New York City. Roddy Piper, we last saw him a week ago as he unsuccessfully challenged Nick Aldis for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship. But at the end of that match, Piper's contractual obligations to AWF expired. And I don't know if he is here to sign on with Patriot Championship Wrestling or if this is a one-time appearance. But Mark Henry is here, and it is going to be a segment of Piper's Pit that is going to determine what is going to happen with Mark Henry and the and his Buckeye Bowl Championship, and of course that entitles Mark Henry to a title match against the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. So whoever comes out of tonight's main event with the title is going to have Big Mark Henry to look after him. And this is completely impromptu. I don't know what's going to happen here. I did not pre-write this angle, so we're all going to find out together as we look at the Piper's Pit card from Galacticon 2021, and the roll on the card is a 9. While Piper interviews the wrestler's feuding opponent comes to defend his honor or attempt a sneak attack, whichever fits the wrestler's character. Piper and a fourth wrestler get involved. Schedule a tag team match for your next show. And of course, we know the man who was most aggrieved by Mark Henry's betrayal at the Buckeye Bowl was this man, Big John Studd. So on a future Patriot Championship Wrestling broadcast, it is Studd and Henry having words, and it will be Henry and Piper against Big John Studd and another member of the Bobby Heenan family, most likely Curt Hennig. So what a match that will be. Mark Henry and Rowdy Roddy Piper versus Big John Studd and Curt Hennig. We'll see that on a future pay-per-view or a future televised broadcast. We'll see that. We'll be sure that that match gets broadcast on the FX Sports Broadcasting Network. So that was our opening segment of the show. And some surprises taking place with the arrival of Rowdy Roddy Piper. Not surprisingly, the arrival of Big John Studd. Big John Studd, of course, does not wrestle as part of Patriot Championship Wrestling. But Bobby Heenan is here as his man Ric Flair is defending the world title tonight. And Studd came along for the ride and took the opportunity to confront Mark Henry. And away we go with a new angle in the Heartland. All right, and that will bring us to our very first opening contest of the night. And before we actually go to the ring, let us say hello to the many fans in attendance here at the Hammerstein Ballroom. We've already got 6 or 7 folks on board. Neil Lau, Miho Burns, Salvador America, Kathy Evans, and Carl Zilla have all made their presence known here in New York City, braving the snow and the cold and the wind. We had 10 inches of snow between Friday and Saturday here in Madison, Wisconsin. We're still digging our way out of that. The snow is expected to subside, but we're going below zero beginning tomorrow, and it's going to be below zero most of the week. So, thank God for the Dave Cave, and thank God for Heartland Championship Wrestling. We're going to start things off with another grudge match. And this is going to be a 6-man match. A 6-man grudge match with no disqualifications. The following contest is scheduled for one fall with no time limit and no disqualification. This is a grudge match. Introducing first, representing James J. Dillon Enterprises. 5'11", 228 pounds from San Antonio, Texas. This is Tully Blanchard. His tag team partner stands at 6 feet tall, weighs 249 pounds from the great state of Minnesota. This is Arn Anderson. And their partner from Seattle, Washington, 6'4", 255 pounds, Johnny Valentine. So members of James J. Dillon Enterprises, Arn and Tully and Johnny Valentine are getting plenty of boos from the fans here in New York City as they are set to take on a very popular trio of wrestlers. Introducing first, representing Justice for All. He stands at 5'10". He weighs 185 pounds out of Aberdeen, Washington. This is the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. And his partner also standing at 5'10", weighing 237 pounds from Honolulu, Hawaii. This is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And their tag team partner hails from Parris Island, South Carolina. Standing at 6'4", weighing 303 pounds, your current reigning North American Heavyweight Champion. This is Sergeant Slaughter. All right, so these are the 6 men going to square off in our opening grudge match. As already Carlzilla is saying, let's go Valentine, and everybody else with a pulse and 2 brain cells is booing like crazy for James J. Dillon Enterprises, as it is the team of Justice for All. The faction represented here by the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and the Dragon, Ricky Steamboat, along with Sergeant Slaughter, are here for 6-man action. Sergeant Slaughter not officially a member of Justice for All, but he has been enmeshed in a long-standing feud with Johnny Valentine, and Slaughter and Valentine had several confrontations during the Buckeye Bowl. So Slaughter more than happy to step in with Steamboat and Danielson here tonight for the opportunity to get his hands on one Johnny Valentine. And with that, we are ready to get the action started. James J. Dillon, of course, the watchful eye at ringside for his enterprises. And you can count on the fact that he is not going to be up to anything virtuous over the course of this match. And with that, fans, we are ready to get things started. We've got the grudge match dice in play here. And it is going to be Ricky the Dragon Steamboat starting off for his team against Tully Blanchard. And of course, Steamboat and Blanchard had many outstanding matches in singles competition back in the day. And it is, oh goodness, it is a tie on the opening initiative roll. And that means something is going to happen from the Highlight Center booklet, Face to the Mat Wrestling, in tag action, and it will be Steamboat ruling on the Face to the Mat book. And on a roll of 2-4, is he a favorite? Yes, he is. Succession of blows leaves opponent unable to continue. So we won't take Tully Blanchard out of the match, but we'll give him a point of fatigue and force him to tag out of this match as Steamboat puts a whooping on Tully Blanchard to open the match. And already James J. Dillon Enterprises finds themselves at a handicap as Arn Anderson tags himself in and Steamboat comes at him with a side headlock. Anderson quickly tags out to Johnny Valentine. Let's see what Valentine can do against Steamboat. Valentine comes in attempting the rear chin lock. Steamboat easily escapes that and comes back with a delayed atomic drop that slams Johnny Valentine to the canvas. Steamboat in control. Steamboat now with an enziguri to the back of the head of Johnny Valentine, and Johnny Valentine is stunned. Steamboat's on him. Whip to the turnbuckle. Steamboat thought about it. He thought better of it. Instead, he's going to go back to the side headlock. But Johnny Valentine on the reversal comes back and whips Steamboat to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Ricky Steamboat. And on a roll of 5, it is a running knee from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat into the head of Johnny Valentine. Steamboat back in control, and Steamboat quickly is going to tag in his fellow Dragon, one Bryan Danielson. And here comes Bryan Danielson with an elbow smash. Valentine quickly makes the tag to Arn Anderson, and we're going to see Arn Anderson dueling with Bryan Danielson here in this next segment. And a cheap shot to the ribs delivered by Arn Anderson as Johnny Valentine held his man and Anderson nailed him in the rib cage. Danielson wincing after that blow. Arn Anderson now with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Bryan Danielson, and on a roll of 9, that is the power roll. And the power advantage belongs to Arn Anderson. He maintains control on level 2 offense. Anderson another whip to the ropes. Again, Danielson coming off to the ropes. And this time, it is a running double clothesline, and both men go down. The man with the better ropes rating, that is Danielson, takes control. And Danielson now with an opportunity to do some damage. And he's going to go for a Regalplex. And that is a +1 finisher. The Regalplex, the pin roll here is 3. And on a roll of 4, Arn Anderson barely got his foot over the bottom rope before the count of 3. Danielson now in control. Big tiger suplex taking Anderson down to the canvas. And Anderson is going to crawl out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And oh, it is Anderson who pulls Bryan Danielson out of the ring and down to the arena floor, and it is Anderson with a drop kick over the steel security railing. He caught Danielson off balance, and he did some damage there. Arn Anderson taking advantage on Bryan Danielson. Danielson slow to return to the ring. And when he gets back into the ring, Arn Anderson is ready and waiting with the Enforcer Bomb. The Enforcer Bomb, a choice H maneuver. So he's going to go for the death jump roll of B. And on a roll of 8, he nails the Enforcer Bomb. Danielson stays down. Here comes Johnny Valentine. We're going to see a double team here. But oh, on a roll of 11, that's going to be a botch. As Anderson attempted to hold Bryan Danielson, Danielson ducked away. Anderson and Valentine collide, and Anderson has the opportunity to take over. And it is Danielson with a surfboard stretch, and he is going to tag in Sergeant Slaughter. This is an AWA bootleg of Sergeant Slaughter. One of these days there is an official Sergeant Slaughter card from the Hall of Fame set, and I just need to swap those out. As Sergeant Slaughter now is in the ring against Arn Anderson, and Slaughter comes in with a catapult into the turnbuckle, and that sends Arn Anderson crashing into the buckle. Can he get out and make a tag? Yes, he can. And into the ring comes Johnny Valentine to square off against his rival Sergeant Slaughter. These two have been waiting to get at each other. It is Valentine attempting the body slam. That's a power move, and Sergeant Slaughter has the power advantage. So now it is Slaughter who catapults Johnny Valentine into the turnbuckle. And Johnny Valentine rolls out of the ring, and out to the arena floor we go once again. Both these men more than willing to mix it up on the arena floor. And this time it is Sergeant Slaughter who just DDT'd Johnny Valentine onto the concrete floor. Valentine now finding himself in trouble. James J. Dillon with a worried look on his face, rubbing his temple at ringside. And now it is the Slaughter Cannon. The Slaughter Cannon off the middle turnbuckle as Valentine returns to the ring. That's an add one move. Sergeant Slaughter goes for the cover. The pin roll here is Snake Eyes. Valentine is able to kick out, but he took some heavy artillery delivered by Sergeant Slaughter. And the team of Justice for All is in charge here. As Slaughter with the atomic drop again goes for the cover. The pin roll now is 3, and on a roll of 4, Valentine barely kicks out. And we're now going to see a double team as Sergeant Slaughter and Bryan Danielson are going to do some double teaming on Johnny Valentine. And on a roll of 7, that is a bone-crunching double clothesline delivered to Valentine. And that leaves Danielson, the man in the ring and in charge here, against Johnny Valentine. Danielson is going to prevent Johnny Valentine from escaping the ring, and instead it is going to be Danielson with a missile dropkick that stuns Johnny Valentine. Danielson now with a surfboard stretch, trying to stretch his man. Valentine slowly working his way up to his feet and over to the ropes. And now as we get to the ropes, it is a cheap shot by Johnny Valentine. Not really a cheap shot, but referee calls for the break, and Valentine instead grabs Danielson with a big overhead suplex and drops him on the back of his head on the mat, and Danielson now is stunned. And now Tully Blanchard finally wants into the match. Tully Blanchard coming into the match, and he is going to grab the eyes of Danielson and just burn his eyes across the top rope. No mercy here whatsoever by Tully Blanchard. And now a grinding chin lock applied by Tully Blanchard. Danielson struggling to his feet. Blanchard stays on him, and just a punch to the face. Wow, that really set off Danielson. Danielson fires back. Danielson with a European uppercut. Tully Blanchard is stunned for a moment, and he makes the tag into his partner, AA Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson coming in now against Danielson. Second time these two have been in the ring together. It is Anderson with a headlock. Danielson with a quick reversal and a European uppercut that stuns Arn Anderson. Anderson staggers back and Danielson's on him with another missile drop kick. Anderson looking for a quick tag, makes the quick tag to his partner Blanchard. And Danielson got the advantage there briefly, but unable to capitalize as Anderson made the tag to Blanchard. Blanchard comes in and just grabs Danielson by the hair and throws him down to the mat. Danielson not able to make a tag at this point. Blanchard stays on him with another punch to the face. And Danielson is stunned, and now a big pile driver by Tully Blanchard. Danielson is down. Here comes Anderson for the double team, and on a roll of 8, that is a deadly elbow smash delivered by Arn Anderson, who is back in the ring and back in control on Bryan Danielson. And Anderson with a kick to the ribs. That is nasty. Danielson down on hands and knees. What's Anderson going to do here? He's going to go for the DDT. That's a +1 finisher. The pin roll here would be Snake Eyes, and Danielson is able to kick out. But Anderson now in control as the first pinning opportunity for the Dillon Enterprises team has just taken place. Anderson is now going to pitch Danielson out of the ring and down to the arena floor. What's going to happen now on a roll of 8? That means the Dillon Enterprises team is simply going to wait it out and force Danielson to make that helpless crawl back into the ring where Anderson is waiting. And now Anderson with a forearm shot to the midsection. Danielson fires right back, whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Arn Anderson. But on a roll of 3, it is Danielson who attempts the running clothesline, but Anderson moved out of the way. Danielson hits the turnbuckle. Anderson rolls him up. We'll see a pin here on Snake Eyes. That's not going to happen, but Danielson takes another point of fatigue after smashing hard into the turnbuckle. And now Anderson with a spine buster. What a gorgeous move that was. Taking Danielson up over and down to the canvas hard. Danielson now starting to show some signs of fatigue at the hands of Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. Here comes Tully for the double team, but on a roll of 11, that is another botched double team as they toss Danielson into the ropes, but Danielson ducks down and comes back off the ropes the opposite way and clotheslines both Anderson and Blanchard down to the canvas. Danielson now with a chance to do some damage. Tiger suplex on Arn Anderson. Anderson is down, and Danielson is finally going to make the tag, and back into the ring comes Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter coming in, and it is Slaughter with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Anderson, and again, a roll of 3. And that is Sergeant Slaughter ducking his head a moment too soon. Anderson grabs him, and another DDT spiking the head of Sergeant Slaughter into the canvas. Wow. Anderson, the smartest man in this match, is going to follow that up, and he is going to pitch Sergeant Slaughter out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on a roll of 11, this is going to be something devious. The opponent comes out of the ring and tries to hit you with an object like a steel chair. It is a boot. Arn Anderson, actually James J. Dillon was known to take his shoes off during a match. So J.J. Dillon just took his shoe off and handed it to Arn Anderson, who nailed Sergeant Slaughter right upside the head with that shoe of James J. Dillon. Sergeant Slaughter has been stunned. Back into the ring is a forearm shot to the midsection delivered by Arn Anderson. Sergeant Slaughter trying to make a comeback. Whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Sergeant Slaughter. And on a roll of 9, it is a big kick from Arn Anderson that stuns Sergeant Slaughter. Here comes Tully for a double team. And on a roll of 9, it is a deadly elbow smash from Tully to Sergeant Slaughter. And now it is Sergeant Slaughter who finds himself behind enemy lines as Tully Blanchard goes to work on him and drops him with a pile driver. Wow. James J. Dillon Enterprises trying to slow things down here. And now a top rope sledge by Tully Blanchard puts Slaughter back down on the canvas. Tully's going for the cover. The pin roll here would be Snake Eyes. And on a roll of 9, Sergeant Slaughter kicks out. But Slaughter now starting to take some damage as Tully Blanchard is on him. And Tully Blanchard, oh, goes to the foreign object. A foreign object by Tully Blanchard. This time it was a sledgehammer. Tully Blanchard with the sledgehammer nails Sergeant Slaughter. And that is going to cost Sarge yet another point of fatigue. And Sergeant Slaughter has been busted open. Wait a minute, did I already give him a point of fatigue before that? Let's see, he took 1 point of fatigue on the pinroll. I think I already gave him that point of fatigue. So I believe Sergeant Slaughter is just at 2 points of fatigue. But he is hurting here. And he is going to roll out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Will we see shenanigans on the outside of the ring? Not yet. But we will see another dastardly move. As Blanchard goes at him with another one. And this time it is Tully Blanchard taking some athletic tape from his wrists and choking Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter being choked down at ringside by Tully Blanchard in that athletic tape. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is incensed. Bryan Danielson trying to get over to assist their partner. But they have been cut off by James J. Dillon and Johnny Valentine as Blanchard continues to punish Sergeant Slaughter. He rolls him back into the ring. What's Blanchard going to do here? He is going to go up for a backward elbow smash. This is a choice H maneuver. Sergeant Slaughter a death jump A. The alternative would be the agility rating, which would be 9 or lower. So Blanchard's going to go for the 9 or lower. And on a roll of 4, he nails the backward elbow smash off the top rope. And Sergeant Slaughter staggers to his feet. Blanchard stays on it. Whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Sergeant Slaughter, and on a roll of 9, that's another big kick from Blanchard that stuns Sergeant Slaughter. Double team opportunity here for James J. Dillon Enterprises. But oh, on roll of 12, it is another botch. Boy, these double teams just have not been working for James J. Dillon Enterprises on this night. You hold the opponent while your partner tries to jump off the turnbuckle with a deadly elbow smash. But the opponent ducks. It is Anderson hitting Blanchard. Blanchard goes down. Slaughter goes for the cover. The pin roll here is a 4 or lower. And on a roll of 12, it is Tully Blanchard kicking out. Slaughter now finally able to make the tag to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Blanchard is down. Steamboat is on him. And Steamboat with a karate chop, a kesagiri chop drop onto Tully Blanchard. Blanchard staggering to his feet. Ricky rams his head into the turnbuckle. Ricky follows that up with another big enziguri, and Tully Blanchard is on the defensive. Steamboat staying on him now, dragging and knife-edge chops, sending Blanchard staggering back into the corner. Here comes Danielson. It's a double team for the Justice for All, and they throw the opponent into the ropes and deliver a bone-crunching double clothesline to put Blanchard back down onto the canvas. It's Danielson now on the offense. Danielson with a tiger suplex, taking Blanchard down to the mat. Danielson follows that up with another missile dropkick. We've seen him flying all over the ring. And Blanchard not able yet to make the tag, as Danielson remains in control. Danielson with another missile dropkick, but this time it is Arn Anderson who pulls Blanchard out of the way, and Danielson goes crashing to the mat. Blanchard now with an opportunity is going to burn the eyes of Danielson once again on the ropes before tagging out to Arn Anderson. Anderson coming in now against Danielson, and Anderson tries a hip toss, but Danielson reverses that, and it is Danielson who comes back with a big drop kick onto Arn Anderson. Anderson not able to make the tag. Danielson follows that up with a big discus elbow smash, and Anderson is stunned. Danielson now with a dragon suplex. Anderson remains hurt, and it is going to be a double team now with Steamboat coming in. And again, another failed double team attempt as Danielson and Steamboat collide, and that's going to give Anderson the opportunity to take control. Whip to the turnbuckle. Danielson tries to reverse it. Anderson turns the tables, And oh, it is Anderson with a back suplex, driving Danielson down into the canvas. Both men getting to their feet. Danielson with a European uppercut. Arn Anderson unable to make the tag. Danielson with another European uppercut. Still no tag. Danielson now with a series of roundhouse kicks, just kicking the snot out of Arn Anderson. Anderson finally drops down to one knee as Danielson pounds away with those educated feet. Another missile drop kick puts Anderson back down on the canvas. Here comes Steamboat. A running forearm smash delivered by Steamboat. Steamboat now, the fresh man in the ring, in control against Arn Anderson. Ramming him headfirst into the buckle. Another head ram into the buckle. Still no ability for Anderson to make the tag, as Steamboat now punishes him with those Dragon Edge knife chops. And now it is going to be Steamboat and Slaughter on the double team. And another deadly elbow smash by Sergeant Slaughter. What's Sergeant Slaughter going to be able to do against Arn Anderson? A catapult into the turnbuckle, and Arn Anderson is leaving the ring. And now on a roll of 12, we will see shenanigans. Ringside shenanigans coming into play as we go to the out of the ring again table. Arn Anderson and Sergeant Slaughter mixing it up out there. And on a roll of 7, it is going to be a foreign object. Another foreign object, this time the ringside cable being introduced to the match. And this will be a gut check roll to see who gets control of the foreign object. And it is Anderson who wins the gut check roll. And it is Anderson now choking down on Sergeant Slaughter with the television cable at ringside. That's going to put Anderson in control. And Anderson now is going to go for the Enforcer Bomb on a roll of 9 or lower. And on a roll of 7, he nails the Enforcer Bomb. And Sergeant Slaughter is stunned. Anderson stays on it and goes to the rake of the eye with the bootlaces. And now it is going to be a double team with Anderson and Johnny Valentine. Johnny Valentine wants a piece of Sergeant Slaughter, and he's going to get his piece of Sergeant Slaughter, as it is Valentine coming in with another shoe shot from James J. Dillon. And that is going to put another point of fatigue on Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter now has been busted open by the shoe of James J. Dillon. Johnny Valentine in control. Valentine is going to go up for a backbreaker. This is a choice H maneuver, choice H. That would be death jump A, as opposed to, I believe, the agility roll. Yes, indeed. So they will stick to the agility roll of 9 or lower. And on a roll of 8, he hits the backbreaker, and it is Sergeant Slaughter who is down. Johnny Valentine with a chance to do more damage. Here's the Atomic Skull Crusher. That's his finisher. It's a +1. The pin roll now is 6 or lower, and that means a mandatory pin save. And on a roll of 9, the pin save is unsuccessful. Will we see Slaughter here defeated? And on a roll of 3, that is it. Sergeant Slaughter takes the fall, busted open by Johnny Valentine. And it is Slaughter tasting defeat and Valentine in celebration, as the men of James J. Dillon Enterprises have defeated Justice for All here in the opening match of today's pay-per-view, as Valentine with the Atomic Skull Crusher picks up the victory over Sergeant Slaughter. And a satisfying victory that is for Valentine. All right. Carl Zilla happy about that. His guy, Johnny Valentine, has picked up the victory in tonight's opening grudge match with a victory over his heated rival, Sergeant Slaughter. So lots of stuff going on in the chat. Let me see if I can catch up with some stuff here. Let's see. We left off with Let's Go Valentine. Salvador America, hello, sir. Ultimate Wildcat fan Kevin Butcher is here. Welcome, sir. Neil Lau, I think I caught you coming in. And I think that is all of the new faces here. Now let's see if we can catch up with the chat. Yeah, Butcher, I started using Sergeant Slaughter when I got his bootleg card. And with the bootleg card, Sergeant Slaughter won the North American Championship. And so I decided just in my mind to keep using the bootleg as long as he was North American champion, and then I'm going to swap him out for the Hall of Fame card. But yeah, I should do that sooner rather than later. Yeah, Bryan Danielson too strong for low. Yeah, we had that conversation about Nick Aldis earlier in the week. And some talk about the origins of Ubu back in the day. And it was Kevin Butcher who turned me on to Ubu. I was not part of the original Ubu crowd, but there was a leftover set being auctioned off at Galacticon. And I went all in on the bidding for that. And outbid somebody. I believe it was Smoke that I outbid to get those, to get that first set. And then, you know, Kevin connected me with Rob Bobine Swarm, who welcomed me into the official Ubu group, and I thank you for that, and thank you for getting me onto some really good quality bootleg cards. And I think that gets us about caught up. Some PDFs are out there, and Valentine is your winner, a rare Slaughter loss. And yeah, so I think that will give Johnny Valentine another shot at the North American Heavyweight Championship by virtue of today's victory. All right, so we are caught up, and it is now time for our first championship match of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect, and this is for the Heartland Ladies Tag Team Championship. And boy, these two teams have been battling over this championship since time immemorial. And the powers that be have declared that this will be the final showdown between these two teams, and the loser of this match will be put on hiatus from Heartland Ladies Wrestling as a tag team. We need to get some new blood into the tag team division on the ladies' side. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing first the challengers. Headed to the ring from Sacramento, California, 5'7", 142 pounds. This is Nicole Savoy. And her tag team partner hails from Waterbury, Connecticut. 5'7", 135 pounds. This is Mercedes Martinez. And their opponents are your reigning and defending Heartland Ladies Tag Team Champions. Introducing first from Honolulu, Hawaii, 5'4", 125 pounds. This is MALIA HOSAKA. And her tag team partner from New Orleans, Louisiana, 5'4", 140 pounds. This is Jazz. So these two teams have had many confrontations. And it all comes down to this. The winner takes home the Heartland Ladies Tag Team Championships, and the losers will go on hiatus. The championship dice are in effect, and it will be Jazz starting off for her team. Excuse me, I got that backwards. It will be MALIA HOSAKA starting off for her team against Mercedes Martinez. HOSAKA, the veteran from Hawaii, great martial arts skill, great experience. Easily the most experienced of the ladies in this match. And it is Mercedes Martinez who gets the opening initiative roll and tries for an arm drag. MALIA turns that around, and it is MALIA who tries for the arm bar. And that's not going to work either, as Mercedes powers her way out of the arm bar. And now it is Mercedes who is going to attempt a running clothesline that stuns MALIA. MALIA not able to get the tag made, as Mercedes is in control here, and Mercedes with a series of forearms into MALIA HOSAKA. MALIA trying to get over for the tag, and she is able to get there. And in comes Jazz. So Mercedes and Jazz, the two strongest women in the match, coming at it, and it is going to be Jazz attempting a drop kick. MALIA gets out of the way of that. Mercedes gets out of the way of that. And it will be Mercedes attempting that arm drag and taking Jazz down to the mat. They come back together in the center of the ring. Both these ladies well scouted. A lot of mutual respect here. As Mercedes comes in and attempts a power slam. Jazz has the power advantage. That's not going to work. And it is going to be Jazz instead with a whip to the ropes. I got to get my cards reorganized here, as they're all over the place. Since that six-man match, the cards kind of got discombobulated. But now it is a whip to the ropes by Jazz. Off the ropes comes Mercedes Martinez. And on a roll of 6, that's the drop down. Here comes Mercedes off the other way. And on a roll of 9, that is the power roll. Advantage Jazz. Jazz puts Mercedes on the canvas. Jazz in control. Jazz with an electric chair face buster. And down goes Mercedes. Mercedes down. Jazz with a chance to do some damage here. And it is Jazz going up for the choice H maneuver. So she can do the death jump or the agility. She'll do the death jump on a roll of B. And on a roll of 11, that is good for Jazz. As Jazz comes off to, as Mercedes stumbles to her feet, Jazz catches her with a DDT. Jazz quick to go for the cover. The pinroll here, Snake Eyes. And on a roll of 8, Mercedes able to kick out. Jazz now in control. And Jazz now going to the STF. She's got her down. The STF is a submission hold, a +2. So the submission roll here, 5 or lower against Mercedes. And on a roll of 8, Mercedes able to make her way to the bottom rope. But Jazz imposing her will on Mercedes. And now it is time for a double team. And on a roll of 10, it is another failed double team. Wow, the double team chart has not been kind yet in this show, as we've got a collision between Jazz and MALIA. Mercedes alertly ducking out of the way of a running elbow smash. Mercedes now in control, and Mercedes is going to again try the power slam, and again unable to get Jazz over. As Jazz blocks that, dumps Mercedes to the canvas and drops the leg. Leg drop by Jazz. Mercedes is down. Jazz now with a whip into the turnbuckle, actually counters that and comes back instead and just catches a side headlock. Mercedes firing elbows into the midsection of Jazz, and now Mercedes pins Jazz up into the corner and pummels her repeatedly with forearms to the midsection. That's going to give Mercedes the opportunity that she needs to get over and tag into Nicole Savoy, the fresh member coming into the match for the challengers. In comes Nicole with a series of leg kicks. Nicole, a very well-scholared MMA fighter. And now a big butterfly suplex by Nicole. Takes Jazz down to the mat, Jazz back to her feet. And Nicole with some more of those leg kicks. And Nicole now with a cross armbar, attempting to get a submission on Jazz, but Jazz just too powerful, powers her way out of that. So Nicole is going to bring Mercedes back into the ring. And as Nicole was holding the armbar, Mercedes dropped her knee onto the shoulder of Jazz, and that is going to be an add 1. And that is going to put Mercedes in control here. Effective double teaming by the MMA challengers, and Mercedes now with a series of brutal chops. Just laying the heavy lumber onto Jazz. Jazz may have to give it up here on a roll of 4 or lower, but on a roll of 7, Jazz is able to power her way out of those brutal chops. And now it is Mercedes sending Jazz out of the ring, and down to the arena floor we go. Both these ladies A-rated performers on the arena floor. And as we go to the out of the ring chart, on a roll of 7, that is the better ring rating wins roll. So that goes to the wrestler on offense. That goes to Mercedes. Back to the ring we go. Mercedes now with the Saito suplex that takes Jazz down to the canvas. Jazz able to make the tag. And Mercedes also going to avail herself of the tag, as we've now got the 2 fresh women into the ring. And Nicole Savoy will be in charge. Nicole with the snapmare, taking MALIA down to the canvas. And now it is Nicole with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes MALIA HOSAKA. And on a roll of 7, it is a big kick by Savoy that stuns HOSAKA. Savoy follows that up with a big butterfly suplex. And that puts MALIA down. MALIA down. Nicole back in charge here. And Nicole is going for a dragon suplex. That's a pinning combination. The pin roll here 4 or lower. And on a roll of 11, MALIA able to escape, as Nicole Savoy has taken control. Nicole now going for the Texas Cloverleaf. That is a choice F maneuver, choice F. And she will need a roll of 9 or lower to complete that on level 3. And on a roll of 6, she got the Texas Cloverleaf in place, and MALIA is down once again. Nicole with a chance to do more damage. She's going for the Savo lock. That's a submission hold. The submission rating is 0. So the total submission roll is 4 or lower. And on a roll of 5, MALIA barely makes her way over to the bottom rope. Here comes a double team as Mercedes hits the ring. And it is Mercedes assisting Nicole for an awesome double neck breaker that takes MALIA down to the canvas. The champion's in trouble here. Mercedes now in control. And Mercedes is going to pitch MALIA out of the ring. And that is not good for the champions. MALIA with a C rating on the arena floor. And on a roll of 9, it is Mercedes winning the brawl on the arena floor with an Irish whip into the ring barricade, leaving MALIA gasping and desperately trying to beat the 10 count back into the ring where Mercedes is waiting. And Mercedes now with a Fisherman's Buster. That is the +2 finisher. The pin roll now is 7, so that is a mandatory pin save attempt. And on a roll of 7, the pin save attempt is unsuccessful. The pin rating here is 7. And on a roll of 6, she got her. Mercedes Martinez with the Fisherman's Buster has pinned MALIA HOSAKA and ended the reign of MALIA HOSAKA and Jazz, as Mercedes with the Fisherman's Buster wins that contest for her team. Congratulations to the team of Mercedes Martinez and Nicole Savoy. Once again, your Heartland Ladies Tag Team Champions. All right, very good match there. And the end of a storied rivalry between 2 really, really good tag teams. The team of MALIA HOSAKA and Jazz, just 2 veterans that I put together arbitrarily as I needed a boost to the ladies tag team division, but they just gelled beautifully. Mercedes and Nicole have been together in factions in Shimmer before, and so that's a more natural tag team, and once again they are your Heartland Ladies Tag Team Champions. All right, now in the chat room, we have solo promoter Grant Pachoco. Good to see you, my friend. Glad to see you here. It is a pay-per-view Saturday, so we are 2 matches down and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. As the next match is another tag team championship match, and this one should be a doozy. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. This is for the Patriot Tag Team Championship. Introducing first, at a total combined weight of 469 pounds. Coming to you from England, collectively known as the British Bulldogs, it is Davey Boy Smith and his partner, the Dynamite Kid. So Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith teaming up to make this challenge for the Patriot Tag Team Championships against the very popular champions from the City of Angels at a total combined weight of 442 pounds. It is Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, the Fantastics. All right, the Fantastics to take on the British Bulldogs here. And it will be Bobby Fulton starting things off for his team against the powerhouse Davey Boy Smith. And once again, the opening initiative roll is tied. So once again, we are going to the shenanigans book. What does Davey Boy Smith have up his sleeve in this tag team match? On the roll of 6-5, we go to highlight reel A. Something nasty is going to happen here thanks to Play.com. And on a roll of 1-5, the wrestler Davey Boy grabs the PA microphone and berates his opponent, adding 1 point to the grudge grades. We don't go by the grudge grades here, so we'll just say that Davey Boy Smith has gotten the psychological edge on Bobby Fulton, and it will be Davey Boy Smith opening up by pulling Fulton into a side headlock. Fulton unable to get over and make the tag as Davey Boy now presses Fulton high up into the air and down to the canvas hard. Big power move there by Davey Boy Smith against the smaller Bobby Fulton. Fulton not able to get over and make the tag. He's in some trouble here, already a down 3. As Davey Boy comes in and makes the tag to Dynamite, they're going to go for the Tower of London right off the bat. This is a +3 tag finisher. The pin roll here would be 6. That's a mandatory pin save. And on a roll of 10, the pin save is unsuccessful. We may see a pin roll here, and on a roll of 6, he got him. Wow. Just like that, the British Bulldogs with a flash pinfall victory over the Fantastics in under 1 minute as Davey Boy Smith grabbed the ring microphone and went to town on Bobby Fulton verbally. Fulton reacted and he played right into Davey Boy Smith's tactics as Davey Boy immediately pressed Fulton up high in the air and down to the canvas hard, setting him up for the Tower of London and a pinfall victory just like that for the British Bulldogs. How about that? Wow, says Solo Promoter. Yeah, that was a pinfall. Tower of London out of nowhere. And that is new tag team champions crowned here in New York City in both the Heartland Ladies Division and in Patriot Championship Wrestling. Ultimate Wildcat wants his money back, indeed. But this next match should, by itself, be worth the price of entrance. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for no time limit with no disqualification. This is a grudge match. Introducing first from Canton, Ohio, standing at 6 feet tall, weighing 170 pounds, this is Jessica Havoc. And her opponent comes to you from Londonderry, New Hampshire. 5'10", 200 pounds, this is JOANIE LAURER. So JOANIE LAURER, the wrestler formerly known as China, making her debut here on pay-per-view against Jessica Havoc. And these two have been itching to get at each other since the moment JOANIE showed up. JOANIE, of course, brought into Heartland Ladies Wrestling by Ivelisse to do her dirty work after Genocide just wasn't getting it done. So just like that, Genocide got kicked to the curb and Ivelisse brought in a new bodyguard, a new muscle in JOANIE LAURER. And Jessica Havoc is here tonight to try and get the first piece of Joanie Laurer in-ring competition. And it is Jessica who comes out on the attack. And Jessica with a slap of contempt. Wow, and Joanie just stands there, not going to do anything about it. As Jessica follows up with an attempt at a big snap suplex. Cannot get her over. As Joanie again unfazed by that. And it is Joanie who comes back with a press slam. Wow! Just hoisting big Jessica Havoc overhead and slamming her down to the mat. She's going to go for the cover right off the bat. The pin roll here is 3. Will we see another flash pin? No, we won't. As Jessica is able to kick out. But Joanie now is in charge, and Joanie is going to pitch Jessica out of the ring. And out of the ring we go. But on a roll of 5, that is the double disqualification roll. There will be no disqualifications here, so we're going to go odd-even. Jessica gets the advantage on the even roll. And on a roll of 6, it is Jessica winning the brawl on the arena floor with a sidekick that sends Joanie Laurer over the steel security railing and into the crowd. And I think there were about 3 casualties in the crowd when Joanie Laurer landed on a group of fans in the front row. Paramedics are being summoned as Jessica grabs Joanie and throws her back into the ring. Jessica's waiting. Here's the Havoc Killer. That's a +2 finisher. The pin roll here is 3 or lower. And on a roll of 6, Joanie is able to kick out. The 9th wonder of the world, China, China, China. But China is suffering at the hands of Jessica Havoc here as Jessica goes up for a big choke slam. Didn't get all of that one. Joanie able to stagger to her feet. Jessica's on her, tries to put her down for the camel clutch. Trying to weaken the upper back, those massive trapezoids and deltoids of Joanie Laurer. And now it is Jessica taking Joanie up for a sidewalk slam and down to the canvas hard. Jessica doing her best to go toe-to-toe with this big monster Joanie Laurer. And now Jessica with a triple kick combo. Triple kick combo, and Joanie goes down and stays down. Jessica just kicking the stuffings out of Joanie. And now Jessica with another choke slam. And again, Joanie is able to get to her feet very slowly. Jessica doing everything she can. A standing lariat. Joanie Laurer will not go down. Jessica follows that up with a takedown and an attempt at a camel clutch, and Joanie gets right back up and will not go down. And Jessica once again just slaps her. And Joanie has had enough. Joanie is going to come back with the reversal. And Joanie with a big clothesline stuns Jessica, but Jessica won't go down. Here they are standing toe-to-toe in the center of the ring. Heavy artillery being fired from both sides. A spinning neck breaker by Joanie. And Jessica gets up once again. Joanie now with a power slam, and Jessica goes down. Jessica goes down. What's Joanie going to do here? She's going to go for the power bomb. That is a +3 finisher. The pin roll here is 7. And on a roll of 5, she got her. Wow, that match was rather short-lived but intense as Joanie wins it with a power bomb after both these ladies delivered all kinds of heavy blows to one another. That was a slugfest in the ladies division if there ever was one. And in her first in-ring debut, Joanie Laurer comes out with the victory over a very game and very dangerous Jessica Havoc. Yes, here's the update from Neil Lau. Joanie Laurer debuted in Velvet a while ago. Yeah, always interested to hear on the Velvet front what is happening. So Neil, if you want to give us a full update, that would be magnificent while I take a break here and rest the voice for a moment as we head into 3 very, very interesting championship matches that will close out today's show. Never a doubt, says Kevin Butcher. And indeed, they don't come much bigger and tougher than Jessica Havoc. And Joanie took care of business in that match in very impressive fashion. So what is next for Salvador America asks, for Joanie now asks Salvador America. And that is a great question. So far, Joanie has just been the bodyguard for Ivelisse. And we'll see if Ivelisse sends Joanie back into the ring or keeps her on the payroll to provide protection, or what Ivelisse has in mind in future cards if Ivelisse is even going to still have control over Joanie. At some point, Joanie may have her own ambitions. You're a Browns fan, aren't you, Dave? Actually, I am more so a Bengals fan, but I do like the Browns. I lived in Northeast Ohio for a number of years, and you know, the fans in Northeast Ohio, the Browns fans, the Dog Pound, are just so passionate that I have nothing but respect for the Browns and their fans. And when the Bengals are out of the playoffs and the Browns are in, I am indeed going to be hoping for the Browns to do well. Although they're going up against C.J. Stroud today, so I've got interest in both sides for that game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit. Disqualification rules will be in effect, as this match is for the Patriot Heavyweight Championship. And this match, again, a rivalry that has been a long time in the making, as Harley Race finally gets his title shot here today in New York City. He is the challenger, standing at 6'1", weighing 268 pounds. Out of Kansas City, this is Harley Race. And his opponent, your reigning and defending Patriot Heavyweight Champion. Out of Camden, New Jersey, 6'1", 227 pounds. This is Buddy Rogers. So Rogers and Race, this one should be a battle for the ages. And once again, the opening initiative roll here is tied. Both of these men, no strangers to loose interpretations of the rules, as it were. And on a roll of 1-2, what's Harley Race got in mind? Is he agile? No, Buddy Rogers the more agile of the two men. And so that is going to put Harley Race at the disadvantage here to start things off. Race came in with a strategy. Buddy Rogers outfoxed him, and Buddy Rogers is in control to start things off with a slap. A slap and an arrogant strut from Buddy Rogers. How disrespectful was that? And now Buddy's going to try for the running tackle. But Harley Race, the stronger of the two men, is able to reverse that, and it is Harley who is coming back with a whip to the turnbuckle. Buddy Rogers, turnbuckle A, and on a roll of 9, it is a big kick from Harley Race that stuns Buddy Rogers. Race keeping in control here with a headbutt. But Rogers is going to fire right back. Rogers with a hard punch to the side of the head of Harley Race. As a little battle of the machismo here. Another hard punch from Buddy. And now it is Harley who is going to fire back. And an attempted jumping knee smash. That's another agility move. Buddy Rogers gets out of the way of that one. And Buddy Rogers now once again with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Harley Race, and on a roll of 7, it is a big kick from Buddy Rogers that stuns Harley Race. Buddy Rogers, another whip to the turnbuckle. And this time on a roll of 2, it is Race bouncing away from the turnbuckle. Rogers crashes hard into the corner. Harley Race is going to roll him up, but the pin roll is only a 1. That's going to cost Buddy Rogers a point of fatigue and put Harley Race in control. And now Harley Race going for the big vertical suplex. That is a 0 finisher. He can get a pin here on Snake Eyes. And on a roll of 10, Buddy Rogers able to kick out. But Harley Race has taken control early in the contest. And now Harley Race is going to send Buddy Rogers out of the ring. And that is to the advantage of Harley Race, an A-rated performer, versus Rogers, a B. And on a roll of B11, it is Race crushing Buddy Rogers on the outside of the ring, dropping him stomach first across the steel security railing. We may see a count out here on a roll of 3 or lower. And on a roll of 6, Rogers is able to make it back into the ring. But that is going to cost him another point of fatigue on the near count out. And Race is going to just pitch him right back out of the ring for a second time. We will not see shenanigans yet on a roll of 8. As Rogers on the outside is forced to make that helpless crawl back into the ring after Race just knocked him off the ring apron and forced him to make that climb a second time. Rogers now with as Race picks him up and drops him across the knee in a backbreaker. And now Harley Race with a forearm slug on a roll of 7 or lower. And oh, Buddy Rogers able to reverse that. And Buddy Rogers catches Harley Race by surprise with a drop kick. Rogers with a quick cover. Pin roll here is 2, and the pin is kicked out by Harley Race. Just like that, Rogers with the reversal and the drop kick to take control. And Rogers now is going to go up for the death jump. Off the top rope comes Buddy Rogers, and on a roll of 8, he hits a missile drop kick onto Harley Race. And Race is down. Rogers follows that up with a pin using the ropes, but the referee is none too wiser for that, and he refuses to count the cover. Both men now getting back to their feet. Buddy Rogers now catches Race coming in and puts him down hard to the canvas with a pile driver. Good looking move there by Buddy Rogers. And now another pile driver. Race gets to his feet slowly, shaking his head side to side, trying to clear the cobwebs, as Rogers moves in for another attack and another whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Harley Race, and on a roll of 8, it is another big kick by Buddy Rogers that stuns Harley Race. Good back and forth match here. Buddy going for another pile driver, again dumping Harley Race on his head in the center of the ring. Rogers now following that up with another series of drop kicks, sending Harley backpedaling into the corner. And now a jumping knee smash by Rogers, but Race will not go down. Race waving his arms at Rogers, bringing on what else you got, and another jumping knee smash, and Race still refuses to go down. Rogers follows that up with a hard punch, and Race is going to fire back on the reversal, and Race takes Rogers down and tries to roll him up into the Indian Deathlock. What a reversal there by Harley Race, going after the legs of Buddy Rogers, but Buddy quickly gets over to the ropes before Harley Race could do any real damage there. Race getting to his feet. Rogers getting to his feet. And it is Rogers who gets the initiative as they come back together, and Rogers with another whip to the turnbuckle. Race comes off the turnbuckle, and oh, this time on a roll of 4. It is Race bouncing off the turnbuckle and delivering a skull-splitting, skull-crushing running lariat to Buddy Rogers. And Buddy Rogers tumbles out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Out of the ring we go once again, and it is Race winning the brawl on the arena floor, this time with a throat drop onto the security railing. Referee going to give some leeway here. Rogers slowly crawling back into the ring, and Race has him up, over, and down in a backbreaker. Backbreaker by Harley Race, and now it is Race following up with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Buddy, and a big knee to the gut by Harley Race stuns Buddy Rogers. Race follows that up with another knee drop. Rogers getting to his feet. Both men coming together in the center of the ring, but oh, Race caught him with a swinging neck breaker and took him right back down to the canvas. Great counter there by Harley Race. Race now following up, trying again for that Indian Deathlock. And Rogers again too quick to get out of the way of that one. They get to their feet again. Race with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Buddy Rogers. And oh, on a roll of 11, that is the big double specialty move. The advantage goes to the man with the better turnbuckle rating, and that would be Buddy Rogers. Buddy Rogers with a chance to do some damage here. Again, he tries that pinfall using the ropes, and again, the referee just ain't falling for it. Rogers instead goes back to another whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Harley Race, and oh, this time on a roll of 12, it is Harley bouncing off of the turnbuckle, and Buddy Rogers nails Harley Race with an incredible neck-breaking clothesline. Rogers now in control. Rogers going up for another death jump. And on a roll of 9, Rogers nails the death jump. Harley Race is down. Rogers with a big elbow drop, and Harley Race rolls out of the way. Race catches Rogers in a headlock as both men get to their feet, and Race with a punch to the face. Rogers fires back, catching a headlock of his own. Race with a reversal, tries for a knee smash, couldn't connect, and it is Buddy instead with a dropkick that stuns Harley Race and sends him staggering back into the corner. Jumping knee smash now delivered by Buddy Rogers. He's going to go for the cover. The pin roll is 3, and on a roll of 6, it is Race kicking out. Good competitive matchup between these men, and now an elbow drop by Buddy Rogers. Leaves Race stunned and slow to get to his feet. A hard punch, keeping Race at bay. Another big pile driver by Buddy Rogers, and now it is Harley Race rolling out of the ring and down to the arena floor. And on a roll of 7, that is the better ring rating roll, and the better ring rating belongs to Harley Race, so he is going to win another brawl on the arena floor by virtue of a slam onto the announcer's table. Harley Race slamming Buddy onto the announcer's table, and now as they come back into the ring, Harley is going to go for the pile driver. That's a +2 finisher. The pin roll here is 6 or lower, and on a roll of 7, Rogers just got out of it, barely getting his leg over the bottom rope before Harley Race could complete the 3 count. Race frustrated but focused. And Race again going for another pile driver. The pin roll now 7 or lower, and he got him. Harley Race wins the Patriot Heavyweight Championship with 2 consecutive pile drivers to score the victory over his longtime rival, Buddy Rogers. Congratulations to Harley Race. What an exciting day it is for this veteran of the squared circle. 2 veterans of the squared circle, and finally it is Harley Race overcoming the championship run of Buddy Rogers to gain the Patriot Heavyweight Championship here in New York. All right, and that is, I think, one of the matches that Tom Felsinger had in mind when Legends of Wrestling was originally conceptualized over 20 years ago, I believe. And wow, we're seeing some great wrestling action already, and our double main event is coming next. All hail the king, says Miho Burns. Boy, King Harley Race, I don't think that was ever something Harley Race had in mind for his career, going to the WWE and being put into a purple robe and paraded around with a crown on his head. Have you ever tried the super advanced power agility rule? Mike Delve endorsed it, and he's cynical about everything. Tell me more about the super advanced power agility rule. I don't think I have heard of that one, but I am interested to learn more, and yeah, I certainly trust the judgment of Mike Delve on the house rules that he may choose to deploy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 45-minute time limit, and this is for the Heartland Ladies Championship. Introducing first the challenger from Cincinnati, Ohio. She stands at 5'10" and weighs 171 pounds. This is Kelly Klein. And her opponent is your reigning and defending Heartland Ladies Champion from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. 5'8", 140 pounds. This is Nicole Matthews. All right, Nicole Matthews and Kelly Klein, and there's a lot at stake here. Not only is the Heartland Ladies Championship at stake, but I have just finished compiling the year-end awards for the year 2023 in the Heartland. And believe it or not, Nicole Matthews and KLEIN finished in a tie for Heartland Ladies Wrestler of the Year. KLEIN held the Mistress of Mayhem Championship for a good part of 2023 before finally being defeated for that title. Nicole Matthews traded the Heartland Ladies Championship back and forth a couple of times, and at the end of the year when the points were compiled, they finished in a dead heat. So they will be recognized as co-winners of the Ladies Wrestler of the Year award in the Heartland. But they are here tonight both wanting to outdo the other, not only for the championship, but for the honor of being the Heartland Lady Wrestler of the Year. All right, yeah, KB, thanks for the follow-up on the super duper advanced power agility rule. And yeah, KLEIN out of Cincinnati, trained at the Heartland Wrestling Association. I watched her any number of times in on the independent circuit in the old HWA back in the day when I went there. I don't believe I ever got to see Nicole Matthews live, as she came up through Canada and through Shimmer, and I never did see a live Shimmer event. But the opening initiative role goes to Nicole Matthews. And it is Nicole coming out with a front face lock. And Kelly immediately countering that, and Kelly with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Nicole Matthews, but on a roll of 4. That is KLEIN charging in with a running shoulder tackle, but missing. KLEIN tumbling out of the ring and down to the arena floor, and the match immediately goes out to the floor. Both these ladies rated A. And on a roll of 9, it is Nicole Matthews who wins the brawl on the arena floor and just hurls KLEIN into the crowd. Isn't that exactly like Nicole Matthews? To just do something that despicable. And as they come back into the ring, it is Nicole with a brainbuster, catching Kelly coming through the ropes and just dumping her on her head. Nicole still in charge, and Nicole now with a fall-away slam. Nicole goes for the quick cover. The pin roll is Snake Eyes, and Kelly is able to kick out. KLEIN in trouble here, and Nicole's going to pitch her out of the ring again and down to the arena floor. And this time on a roll of 7. That's the better ring rating wins roll. They're both A's, so the wrestler on offense, Nicole Matthews, wins the brawl again. And this time with a throat drop onto the security railing. Oh my goodness. Nicole doing damage to Kelly outside the ring. And now a neckbreaker DDT combo as she comes back into the ring. And down to the canvas goes Nicole. Down to the canvas goes Kelly. She hit her with a neck breaker, and before Kelly could get to their feet, dumped her with a DDT. The pin roll here, 3 or lower, and on a roll of 7, Kelly able to kick out again. Kelly, a big, tough competitor, but Nicole acquitting herself nicely in the early stages of this match, and now out of the ring we go yet again. Will we see shenanigans here on a roll of 9 or higher? No, we will not. Instead, it is Kelly rolling on the out of the ring chart, and this time it is Kelly winning the brawl on the arena floor, pulling Nicole out of the ring and then hitting her with a diving clothesline off the ring apron to take Nicole down to the canvas and do some damage here. Kelly first back into the ring. Nicole climbs in, and Kelly's got her in the end of the match. That is her finisher, the guillotine choke. She can finish her off here on a roll of 4 or lower, and on a roll of 7, Nicole able to get her leg under the bottom rope and force the end of the match guillotine chokehold to be broken. Both these ladies really going all out here in this match. And now Kelly's got the end of the match applied again. The submission roll here, 5 or lower. And on a roll of 4, she got her. Just like that, KLEIN, by virtue of the guillotine choke, has won the Heartland Ladies Championship by submission over Nicole Matthews. Nicole's arm dropped once. It dropped twice. It dropped 3 times. And it is Kelly Klein with the end of the match, winning the Heartland Ladies Championship here in New York City. How about that? Boy, we've seen some quick finishes here tonight. The British Bulldogs winning in quick fashion, and now Kelly Klein in quick fashion. And so far, every title match has resulted in a title change. There have been no successful title defenses here in New York City tonight. The Fantastics went down. Buddy Rogers went down. MALIA, HOSAKA, and Jazz went down. And now Nicole Matthews goes down. And that brings us to our main event of the evening. You're in Wisconsin now. You should have to forfeit the Heartland title to me here in Columbus, Ohio. I don't think the Heartland Wrestling Association still exists. I think that eventually folded up shop. That was originally, or at least when I started watching, it was Les Thatcher in partnership with Cody Hawk. Les Thatcher and Cody Hawk had a falling out over the financial aspects, and it was Cody Hawk who took over the HWA, and Les Thatcher went off to greener pastures, and eventually the HWA, under the leadership of Cody Hawk, ran its course, and to the best of my knowledge has folded. But yeah, lots of good memories, lots of good wrestlers we got to see there. John Moxley, Nigel McGuinness, Sean Ricker, now known as L.A. Knight. Of course, Kelly Klein, B.J. Whitmer, James Gibson, a.k.a. Jamie Noble, and of course the Irish Airborne / Ohio versus Everything / the brothers Chris, Dave, and Jake. Dave Chris now having left the business in disgrace. Although he made his mark, he has trained a lot of great wrestlers were trained by Dave Chris before he was forced out as a result of the Me Too movement, and by all accounts, deservedly so. Jake, on the other hand, great guy, very quiet guy, very thoughtful guy, very good husband, good father, married, of course, to Nevaeh of wrestling fame. They have 2 kids together, and Jake made his way back from alcohol problems and is in the best shape of his life and tearing it up on the independent circuit. Good for Jake indeed. So, anyhow, yeah, thank you for the tag there, Kevin. I will look that up. And now it is time for your main event of the evening, and this will be a tables match. I've never done a tables match before. This comes to us from the Felsinger Game Ringside Companion version 1, with version 2 on its way. But let's take a look at the rules for the table match. In this match, tables are placed at ringside. In order to win the match, one wrestler must put his opponent through a table with an offensive move. No pinfalls, no submissions, no disqualifications or countouts. Use the Texas Death rules on page Texas Death Match rules on page 26. That just means no DQ, no countout, substitute down 3. When a wrestler rolls leave the ring, play in the normal manner. When you roll out of the ring or death jump, you have a chance to roll on the regular chart or on the chart below. Any pin situation, roll on the chart below. If the roll leads immediately to the table break, you could say the wrestler used his finisher to break the table if it makes sense to do so. Pin ratings are not factored in this match. You may choose to have both members in a tag team match put through tables for the match to end. So those are the rules. We'll see how this goes as we go along. But ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for One fall with no time limit and no disqualification. And this will be for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. With a special stipulation, this will be a table match. Introducing the first, the challenger, out of Abruzzi, Italy. Standing at 5'10", weighing 265 pounds, this is Bruno Sammartino. Bruno Sammartino here with the opportunity to win the title, a big favorite here in the Northeast, as you know. And his opponent is your reigning and defending NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Out of Charlotte, North Carolina, standing at 6'1", weighing 243 pounds, it is the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. So Ric Flair coming out, strutting his way down the aisle, looking at the tables, looking at Bruno Sammartino and just giving him a, running his fingers through his hair, looking at Bruno and saying, "Woo!" As Bruno, stoic in his eyes fixed on Ric Flair. As we come now to the tables match for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And the opening initiative roll is won by Bruno. And it is Bruno attempting a front face lock. Catching Flair. Bruno follows that up with an attempted drop kick. That's an agility roll. And the agility in this match belongs to Ric Flair. So it is Flair who comes back with an elbow to the head of Bruno, and Bruno fires right back with a test of strength, taking Ric Flair down to the mat. Bruno now in charge. Bruno with a not going to go for the whip to the ropes. He'll roll up again to the test of strength, keeping Flair down. And now a duck under arm drag by Bruno takes Flair back down to the canvas. Bruno trying to keep the match on the mat and at a slow pace in order to control things here early. And now he is going to go for the relentless stops, a choice D maneuver, choice D. We'll see what choice D holds in store for Flair and Bruno. That will be the power roll of 8 or lower. Will be good here for the relentless stops. And on a roll of 9, it is Flair who dodges that. And it is Flair who comes back with another elbow drop that stuns Bruno. Bruno tried stomping on him, and Flair just took him down by the leg and dropped the elbow. And now a butt drop across the leg by the Nature Boy. And another butt drop across the leg, trying to immobilize Bruno and take him down. And now Flair with a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Big Bruno, and on a roll of 5, that is Flair setting his head too soon. And that will be Bruno coming off with a flying shoulder tackle that takes Flair down to the canvas. Bruno now back in control with another arm drag that takes Flair back down to the canvas. Bruno now with shoulder rams into the corner. And Flair reverses that. And it is Flair with another whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Bruno, and this time on a roll of 8, it's a running back elbow from Flair that stuns Bruno. And Flair now with another whip to the ropes. Off the ropes again comes Bruno, and this time on a roll of 5, it is Bruno with a running shoulder tackle that takes Flair down. Bruno again going for those relentless stops. This time he is able to get the job done, and Flair will leave the ring. Out of the ring we go with Flair. Both these men A-rated performers on the arena floor, and it is Flair who wins the brawl on the arena floor with a drop kick over the steel security railing. Flair now in control on level 3 offense. And he is going to go now for the pin using ropes. That is a finishing move, which means he does get a chance to do the tables match for the very first time, the tables chart. So what is going to happen here on our first venture to the table chart? The roll is a 9. You try to whip the opponent into a table, but he reverses the whip and you get whipped into the table. The table doesn't break. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense or on this chart. Bruno is going to stay on the tables chart. And on a roll of 7, you smash the opponent's head into the table. The table doesn't break. Roll on level 3 offense. So Bruno now in control, and a knee to the side of the head, and that is going to cost Flair a point of fatigue, and that's going to give Bruno another opportunity for the table. And on a roll of 4, it is high risk. You set up 2 tables on top of each other inside the ring. You place the opponent on top of the tables and then climb to the turnbuckle to dive off on the opponent. Roll 2 dice to see what happens. If the roll is even, Bruno will win the match right here. If the roll is odd, then Bruno will miss and Flair will take over. And the roll is odd, so Bruno misses and Flair gets out of the way and Bruno crashes through the tables. And that gives Flair the opportunity to roll on the finishing chart. And his roll is a 6. You smash the opponent's head onto the table. The table does not break. Roll again on this chart. Flair has got Bruno in some trouble here. And Flair with another head smash to the table. And back to the ring we go. I'm just going to do 2 rolls on the table at a time before we go back into the ring. And now as we get into the ring, it is Flair with a figure 4 leg lock on Bruno. And that is going to cost Bruno a point of fatigue, although he will not submit. Flair now with another chance to do some damage on the table. And on a roll of 5, you set up a table outside the ring and place the opponent on top of the table. You then try to dive off the ring apron onto the opponent, roll 2 dice, and see what happens. On the even roll, you connect. The opponent breaks through the table and you win. So let's see what happens here for Flair. The roll is a 5 and Flair misses. The opponent moves out of the way and you crash through the table. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense. So both times the men have tried the tables match, and both times they have failed. And now it is Bruno on level 3 offense. And Bruno is now going to go for a head-first body slam. We're back into the ring, and Bruno follows that up with a duck under arm drag. Flair with a reversal, and Flair coming back with a whip to the turnbuckle. Off the turnbuckle comes Bruno, and on a roll of 5, it is Bruno who lifts a knee to the head of Ric Flair, and that puts Bruno back in charge. Bruno going to try those relentless stomps again, and again he is successful. And again, that is going to cost Flair a point of fatigue and give Bruno the opportunity to try the tables chart. The roll is 8. You use the table as a battering ram and spear the opponent, but the table doesn't break. Roll again on this chart. Bruno on the chart again with a roll of 10. You try to smash the opponent's head into a table, but the move is reversed by the opponent. The table doesn't break. Flair with a reversal. Flair rolling now on the tables chart. And Flair on a roll of 10 gets reversed again. And back into the ring we go with Bruno in control. Bruno now with a bear hug. Taking another piece of fatigue out of Flair. That is 3 points of fatigue against Flair. And now we've got Bobby Heenan and Big John Studd at ringside. Bobby Heenan going to attempt interference on behalf of on behalf of Ric Flair. And the Heenan roll is 8. Heenan trips up the opponent, allowing his wrestler to attack from behind. Heenan's wrestler rolls on level 2 offense. So interference by Bobby Heenan has turned the tide in favor of Ric Flair. And Flair now with a knee breaker. That stuns Bruno Sammartino. Sammartino now down and clutching his knee. Here's a whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Bruno, and Flair puts him down with a running back elbow. Another whip to the ropes. Bruno off the ropes again, and this time it's Bruno with a running shoulder tackle. Bruno now in charge. Going to try those relentless stops. Flair avoids the relentless stops, and Flair comes back with thunderous chops. Thunderous chops, I say, across the big barrel chest of Bruno Sammartino. Flair continues to lay in those chops as the fans here in New York City are going wild. Flair continues to lay in those chops. And now Flair attacks the leg of Sammartino once again. And Sammartino takes him down with a big test of strength. Flair is down. And it is Sammartino. What's he going to do now? Another test of strength. Flair begging off. as Bruno again takes him down with an arm drag. Bruno now going to try the relentless stomps. And again, it is Flair able to avoid the relentless stomps, and Flair with another whip to the ropes. Off the ropes comes Bruno, and Flair takes him over with a big body drop. And now another backbreaker executed by Ric Flair across the back. And a butt drop across the leg of Bruno. Flair taking control on Bruno here. Snapmares him over. Follows that up with a nasty butt drop across the leg. Bruno gets to his feet. Bruno comes back and tries to stop him again. And again, Flair gets out of the way of that. And Flair with another whip to the ropes. We're caught in level 2 purgatory here, fans. Coming off the ropes, it's Flair with a running back elbow. Followed by a somersault knee drop that stuns Bruno. And Flair now with another knee breaker, and Bruno rolls out of the ring and down to the arena floor. Flair comes out after him, and it is Flair winning the brawl on the arena floor, and with a pile driver onto the ring steps. Flair now going to go for the table shot, and on a roll of 7, he smashes the head onto the table. The table does not break. Flair's going to try again, and on a roll of 6, he smashes the head of Bruno again into the table. Flair staying on the offense. Flair with a clip to the knee. Bruno loses another point of fatigue after Flair takes out his knee. Flair tries the table again, and on a roll of 11, you hit an incredible move on the opponent, and the table is broken. So Ric Flair, after damaging the knee of Bruno Sammartino, is able to chop him onto the table and then execute a falling elbow off of the apron onto the turnbuckle. Bruno couldn't get away. The table is broken, and Ric Flair is your champion. How about that? Ric Flair successfully defending the Heartland Heavyweight Champion, or the NWA Heavyweight Championship against Bruno Sammartino with a little help from Bobby the Brain Heenan. And now, after Ric Flair is celebrating, it's going to be Mark Henry who shows up at ringside. Mark Henry made no efforts to prevent Heenan from intervening in that match, and now Heenan and Mark Henry are going to have a conversation at ringside. There were rumors after the Buckeye Bowl that these two might join forces, and then Mark Henry went his own way, and now it looks like Henry and Heenan are having a conversation. And Heenan is offering Mark Henry some sort of an incentive, and Henry is hearing none of it. Henry won the Buckeye Bowl, and Henry is next in line to challenge Nature Boy Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And Bobby Heenan has tried to buy him off, and Mark Henry has just pitched Bobby Heenan out of the ring. And it is a stare down between Mark Henry and Ric Flair as we close the show. So that is it here from New York City. Thank you to everybody who came out for tonight's contest, for tonight's pay-per-view broadcast of Heartland Havoc 119, I Walk Alone. And at the end of the day, it is Mark Henry walking alone, away from ringside, turning down the offer of Bobby Heenan to join the Heenan family. And instead, it will be Henry challenging Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And yeah, there was a comment earlier about the tables match, and I agree with that. I'm not a huge fan of the tables match, and I'm not a huge fan of how that played out as a championship match. But the last time Flair and Sammartino squared off, it ended in a no contest with Flair putting Sammartino through a table, and the dice pointed towards a stipulation rematch, and those dice then again pointed towards a table match which took place here tonight. So obeying the dice roll, I did what the charts told me to do. And FLAIR turned aside the challenge of Sammartino after taking out his knee with a figure 4 leg lock, preventing BRUNO from escaping, as FLAIR was able to put him on the table and then through the table with that falling elbow off the ring apron. All right, the only title change I wanted to happen didn't happen, says Carl Zilla. Velvet needs to climb. Boy, Ultimate Wildcat fan KB really wants Velvet to climb into the ring soon. So we'll definitely consider that. Velvet, of course, the face and voice of Heartland Ladies Wrestling from the commentator position. But now she does indeed have a new card in the new Ladies of the Indies set for 2023, and we may have to break that out. Carzilla, I'm going to boo every time you tell me Bruno lost. Yeah, Bruno did lose, didn't he? Boo! Yeah, so unfortunately for Bruno, that's that. And fans, we are done here. Thank you all for checking things out. An hour and 41 minutes on the stream. Thanks for everybody who bore with us. Ultimate Wildcat fan Kevin Butcher, Carl Zilla, Miho Burns, Carl Zilla with another boo, Salvador America. Solo Promoter was here. Let's see if there's anybody else I missed along the way. I believe Kathy Fisher was here early on. Did I get that name right? Neil Lau, of course. Thank you, Neil, for coming in. And scrolling. An hour and a half worth of scrolling going on here. Kathy Evans. Okay, Kathy Evans. Hello, Kathy, and welcome. And I believe that gets everybody. If I didn't get you, thank you. If I didn't get you, those of you watching the broadcast on YouTube, thanks for tuning in, and thank you for checking out Heartland Championship Wrestling today. Tomorrow morning, My Journey with Jesus returns to the channel for those of you so inclined. And we'll be back next week with another episode of Heartland Championship Wrestling here on the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network. And until then, this is Dave Little from the Dave Cave signing off. That's our stream, and I am out of here.